when Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent put down his sword to write love poets. At the peak of Ottoman greatness, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent was known for his strength and valor, yet he harbored the soul of a sensitive poet. Tales of love were rarely associated with sultans, but his affection for Hurrem Sultan changed that narrative. A royal love story emerged from the palace walls, crossing seas and continents, immortalized in the poems written by the Sultan himself. One spring day, Sultan Suleiman wandered through his palace's lavish gardens, feeling an unfamiliar desire stirring within him. Standing before a marble fountain, he gazed at his reflection in the water. He decided it was time to lay down his sword and express his feelings in another way. It's time for rest. Perhaps words can replace swords, he mused. Suleiman gathered his closest advisors in a dimly lit throne room, illuminated only by oil lamps. The silence was more unsettling than their words. "I will not lead the next campaign," the Sultan declared. The room was stunned, but no one dared oppose the Sultan's decision. Even the Grand Vizier could only bow in acknowledgement. In his private study, adorned with exquisite Eastern artifacts, the Sultan sat for the first time with ink and quill before a blank page. Taking a deep breath, he began to write, "O Hurrem, the adornment of the skies, you who have illuminated the nights of my life." The words flowed from his heart as never before, filling him with a strange sense of peace and joy. On a moonlit night, the Sultan invited Hurrem to his private chamber. She sat before him, her eyes glinting with curiosity. He handed her a small collection of his poems. As she read quietly, her surprise and joy were evident. "These words beat with love, my Sultan," she said, her smile shy yet proud. The Sultan's poems quickly became the talk of the palace and soon spread to distant provinces. Poets and scholars began sharing the verses far and wide. Even soldiers on the front lines exchanged the lines, finding in them a spiritual strength and a reminder that their leader was not only a warrior but also a man of thought and heart. As the Sultan's poems spread throughout the empire, some saw this as a sign of weakness. Military leaders whispered doubts about the Sultan's focus on poetry. However, others recognized the poems as a reflection of a new inner strength and an inspiration to the army and the people alike. During this period, Suleiman faced numerous challenges from both internal and external adversaries. Rumors of the Sultan's laxity began to circulate within the court. But Hurrem stood firmly by his side, encouraging him to continue writing. "Do not fear, my Sultan. Poetry is a strength only the great can wield," she reassured him on a quiet night. Over time, the Sultan compiled his poems into an elegant collection adorned with gold and silk. Sitting in his study, he reread each poem with love and pride, knowing that this collection would be part of his legacy. Through these words, he felt he could immortalize his emotions forever. On a serene, moonlit night, Sultan Suleiman penned the last poem for his collection. Its words conveyed his deep gratitude to Hurrem. "O my muse, you who have brightened the darkness of my nights, you will forever be a star in the sky of my poetry." Upon finishing the poem, he felt a profound sense of inner peace. After years of writing, the Sultan decided to return to the battlefield. This time, he was not only the military leader everyone knew but also a poet who inspired his army with both his words and his command. He returned to the battlefields with a heart full of love and courage, understanding that his true strength lay in the blend of sword and pen. Thus was the journey of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, who balanced bravery and sensitivity, the sword and the pen. His stories and poems continued to inspire generations, ensuring his name was etched in history as one of the greatest sultans and poets.